So I'd firstly like to thank the Alliance and the ALS-MND Association for giving us this tremendous opportunity, and in particular for allowing us to host a very special day yesterday to do the judging of our already first Assistive Technology Prize event. And this has been in close collaboration with Prize for Life and my colleague Maya Bronfield, who's been really pivotal in helping us get this event together, and to Teva, a big thank you for sponsoring our lunch yesterday.
As an ALS patient, you lose so much. But I can testify that communication is the most important. To say what I need, what I think. To tell my kids and wife that I love them. This is what makes me a person. Until there is a cure, there is technology.
Technology is an umbrella term that encompasses anything that enables a person with a disability to do something that they normally could not do.
Please be patient. I have ALS and cannot speak. I will use my iPad to communicate.
Within the past year, I've seen things like eye gaze and different TOBI programs that are just opening the potential for patients to not only communicate but actively participate in their communities.
Ain't no woman like the one I got.
Collaboration is key to success, and the collaboration between the ALS Association and Prize for Life is a good example on how to advance technologies to help patients.
Focus of this challenge is to see if we can improve communication, recognizing also that ALS is a disease in which the stages change on a regular basis, so the disease is constantly progressing, and so we have to have an assistive technology in communication that can adapt over time.
I want to reach out to engineers, to computer scientists, and tell them that they can make a tremendous impact for ALS patients in the coming years. You could be part of the solution. You could be part of the fight against ALS.
Do you like that Daddy's computer talks for him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it help you understand Daddy?
Yeah.
Well, I think you should do this challenge because you're a human being. It's about making a difference to people, and at the end of the day, that's what makes you feel good, is when you've made a difference with your skill sets.
I'm very excited to be part of the challenge that ALS Association and Prize for Life have put together. There's nothing more fulfilling than seeing a person who has lost the ability to speak regain the ability to have a conversation with their partner, their wife, or their husband again, and how important that is to the overall quality of life of a person.
So I really want to give a tribute to Gal Sant, who sadly lost his life to ALS, but who was really pivotal in helping us think about this assistive technology challenge, and certainly to Steve Gleason, who has really been a force in this area to ensure that patients get what they need in terms of speech devices. And so it's really been a privilege. I'm certainly not an expert in this field, and certainly my focus has always been in the programs in terms of more the basic science, translational, and drug development. But together we built a team, and together with initially Netta Zak and now Maya Bronfeld, we built a team together of tremendous judges who, for over the almost 2 years, have been with us to provide guidance, to do the reviews, and culminated yesterday, and I think a tremendously exciting day. The goal of it here was to encourage many new people to the area to think about it. In fact, over the time we had 87 different groups in 16 different countries bring ideas, many from academia, many from the industry, and some who'd never thought about ALS at all, and who partnered with the ALS experts to think about the challenge more carefully. We initially had an open call to solicit and provide some seed funding to 4 teams that then got a $50,000 award to start thinking down this track, a variety of different technologies, which was very exciting. And all these teams were then invited, and new teams were invited to come into the challenge to receive the prize money of $400,000 to really stimulate. We realize this is just seed money, but to stimulate to bring this further into really a meaningful solution. And so clearly we had to try and shape some criteria around what the judging would be. We felt it very important that there had to be solutions that were beyond what we currently have. They had to be easy and applicable and easy to use. And the real privilege to use this venue yesterday was because we had obviously the international presence of this meeting and also people living with the disease at very many different stages. And it was tremendous to see the 5 contestants be able to use their technology and share with the judges how that would impact people living with the disease. Because as a reminder, this was all driven by people with the disease. Our workshop we held in the beginning was asking people with the disease what for them was the most important assistive technology, and they said communications. That's why we started the initiative in this way. It had to be adaptable for the disease stages, and we saw people who were able to very easily walk into the room yesterday but had absolutely no speech, and 2 others who really were completely locked in. And so it had to really try and meet all those needs. Importantly, it had to be cost-effective and affordable. And this is a challenge because, of course, with a reasonable business model and to be able to really move your program forward, the limitation can be the cost, and so that was something we looked into very carefully. The idea, and of course this is always optimistic, but we hoped this would be something we could see launched within the next 2 years as a solution. And it really was important that the 5 winning teams would be able to show something, and in fact we did have 5 tremendous teams yesterday presenting their prototypes. I'm not going to speak too much about John's work. He's here in the audience. He was one of the contestants who you will hear in much more detail about. I think that it's very hard to really describe the energy and the enthusiasm when sitting at each of these different prototypes. What really motivated them once the prize came out, the synergies and the drive to bring the right players together, and every single one of these teams were deserving of a prize. Of course, we only really had 1 award-winning team. So I'm not going to spend the time on this because you'll hear in great detail about that. I can't do justice, as John will give. Project Vive, I don't think they're represented today in the audience. They were here yesterday. A new young team with great ideas, and we think that they are going to really be able to help move this forward. They're going to partner now with ALS specialist centers to help drive their technology, wearable technology that can be used and really be put together with speech generation devices to be able to use elbow, knee, foot to be able to make those connections with the speech, And then also a very interesting system. I don't know again if Diane Goodwin is here in the audience, but their team had a really clever solution, and I sat at one of the stations to enjoy seeing how it was being put into practice. The president for the ALS Japan was there, completely unable to move with his team, and his team shared how important it would be for him to be able to adjust the position of his screen. And in fact, through eye recognition technology, you could therefore then adjust and tilt the computer screen, move the robotic arm. And I have to say, Pat Quinn, who was the co-founder of the Ice Bucket Challenge, who you saw on the video, he couldn't make it here in person. In fact, it was Jay Beavers from Microsoft at our first workshop who beamed him in, and I sort of said to him, he said he was bringing beams, and I said, you bring the beams, but make sure the technology is working, because I wasn't sure what the beam was. The only challenge was UPS only just got it there in time. These beams were robotics that were in the room that could follow Shai, Steve Gleason, and Pat Quinn from their bedside and move around the stations. We tried to get the beams in. Of course, they now came at a cost of $5,000. They had been free initially first. We couldn't get the beams in, but Skype did the job, and Pat was with us all day long from his bedside, and he, in fact, was able to use a system to move things too, because his eye gaze through Skype was enough to set the system to adjust the positioning of the screen or do it. So it really is exciting to see that kind of technology in action in very many creative ways. So the next solutions are the exciting two solutions, and I don't know if our teams are all in the front row, but we decided we can, as an organization and as a partnership, be a little bit creative. Our 400,000, we decided, well, there were actually two winners, and we gave the top winning team, Peter Desai and his team for BCI, the 300,000 prize, and I'm going to invite them all to come up and talk about their technology. And the second team went to Python, and I think they're in the room. Just in the interest of time, I'm going to bring all the teams up, and the two teams are going to quickly tell you a little bit about their technology. I think just come at the same time, and then we can slot in. So these are the winning teams. And we'll let you do it first. I think the slides are up next. Go ahead.
So, welcome all. First off, we're very thankful for this award. So the way that we tried to actually approach this restoration of communication is by using brain-computer interfacing. By brain-computer interfacing, I mean we record the brain signals while the users perform some kind of a task, and this task evokes specific brain activity that we can then decode. And by this decoding, we then know from the brain signals what the user's actually trying or intending to do. So normally, brain-computer interfacing is quite inaccurate. It's slow, but with this this breakthrough of noise tagging, we actually found a way to do this much quicker and much more reliable. So the way that we do this is by presenting, for instance, in the case of communication, we present a grid filled with cells that contain characters to the user. And each character is then flashing with a very unique sequence. And obviously then looking at this one, or you're selecting one of these characters. By looking at one of these characters, you're actually looking at one of these flash sequences. Thereby you evoke specific brain activity that we can try to decode. So from the brain activity, we can actually find back to which flash sequence you're looking at, and thereby we can actually find or select for you a character. And this works very well. So within 1 second, with at least an accuracy of 95%, we can spell one character for you. So the product that we're trying to build with this grant is a complete system. I think you can tell more about that.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you to everybody who was judging our project, because we're going to use this award and this money to adapt this technology in patients' life. I'm talking on behalf of the patients because we were as an expert in this project as ALS Organization of Belgium. And that's the most beautiful part. So we have a commercial partner, we have technical partners, and we also have the patients in our project. So the meaning is also because we were there yesterday with wet electrodes, and the meaning is that we're going to do that with dry ones. So, and it's also not only the meaning to have communication with the brain interface computer, but also in daily life of patients, to opening doors, to just use that in daily life and to just live again as a human person. So thank you very much.
Great. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much to the ALS Association and to Shay Rishoni from Israel, who supported this challenge. It was an honor for us to participate. My name is Dexter Ang, and my team comes from Boston. I'd like to say specifically that one of the pals that we've done testing on, Kyle Connors, he's here in this corner here. He flew, his whole entire family came here to support our project, and it was a big part of advocating about the benefits of our product. And I think that's the biggest testimony that we can ever share about assistive technology, is when pals actually test it, and we'd like to actually share some of those results for you today as well from the testing yesterday. So we're building the first wearable system that's comfortable and effortless for people who have no ability to speak or to move to use. It's a series of wearable small sensors that can go on any person's body that captures electrical signals in their muscles and nerves. We've tested successfully on a number of people, which I'm going to go into. The reason why I'm on this journey is because my mother had ALS, and she passed away last year, and when her hands got weak, she was not able to move her hands to control a computer and control a mouse. So I went back to MIT to build something that would be revolutionary for this field. So I want to tell you about Shay Rishoni. As you guys know, he is absolutely the most courageous man I've ever met. He's the reason why this entire event is holding here. So we tested on him. He has full quadriplegia, no ability to move. And so we put a sensor, like you can kind of see one of our sensors right on his forehead. It's kind of dark on the other side. And this is the EMG signal that we had off of his ability of his body, even though he has no ability to move. So very clear signals, and he was able to type his full name. I want to show you, you guys may know the president of the Japan ALS Association. Of course, he has full quadriplegia as well. He asked to put the sensor on his leg. You can see the atrophy in his leg muscle. It was skin and bone. He was by far the most progressed person we had ever tested on, and so we weren't sure what the result would be. And you can see that actually we had very clear signals on him as well. So he was actually able to type so well, he actually asked us to speed up the scanning speed. So he was really going fast with it. Lastly, I want to show you Patrick. He's actually local to Dublin, and meeting him, his mother, and his father. He's 30 years old. He was diagnosed with ALS when he was 15 years old, and he has basically no technology at all. And so we tested our signal on his forearm, and basically you could see after 5 minutes of testing, typed his whole name. This all happened yesterday. It happened actually outside of the judging session, and we were happy that they all privately asked to test this product. So we were very happy to show the results here, and they really wanted us to tell the community here that there's a technology coming around the corner. And at Python Technology, we want to have a market-ready product available by the end of next year for manufacturing, and we'd like to help out all people with neuromuscular conditions. So we have a website here. This is where you can express interest that your organization wants to be a partner with us on the clinical trial side, as well as testing for your particular PALs wherever you are in the world. We want to be able to help everybody who needs this help. So please sign up, talk to me, and our team will be here today and tomorrow. We'd love to meet you all. Thank you very much.
Congratulations again to the 2 winning teams, but all 5 were tremendous, and it was so exciting to have this opportunity to share it. If you want to know a little bit more about the process and the concept of the prize, Maya and Maya, won't you stand up, please? She's been tremendous as a partner to doing this. We have a poster later in the week, and we're here as well around for any questions. So thank you again. It was a tremendous opportunity to both have the judging here and to be able to share this exciting event, driven really by people living with the disease. So thank you.